Might as well start with Leon's.
Good.
Probably the best one.
No. Disagree.
Because Chris's was like a weird poor man's Gears of War.
Yeah, Chris's is the action one.
And
Jake and Sherry's is a mixture of everything. Got some action, some stealth.
Jake's was a throw everything at the wall campaign down to like really unfortunate like instant death stealth missions.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fail state was that the character who was set up as being borderline invincible keeps dying instantly in stealth sections. Because like the player one character is Jake, which means that Sherry is the damsel that gets killed if you screw up at stealth. But they just finished introducing the idea that she's like unkillable in the previous cutscene, like right before that section. So it's really confusing why she's dying instantly, constantly.
Well, Jake would be in the same boat because he's supposed to have Wesker's genes.
And at the same time, like just, man, that's just an unfortunate mechanic to try to put in the game. The instant death used to knock stealth sections, or like the weird avoid the swarm levels, I guess.
Are you recording yet?
Yeah, I pretty much just started recording when I launched it.
All right, cool. But I was gonna say, like, do you know how many people worked on this game?
600.
600.
600 people. It's one of the biggest projects I've ever heard of for a video game, which explains why it's 20 hours long.
And they expected it to compete with Call of Duty in 2012.
Which is probably why Chris's campaign is what it is.
And then they cried that it sold 5 million copies.
Yeah, every campaign being like a wildly different beast shows how do you put it, like how, I don't know, just how scattered they were in every market that they wanted to simultaneously appeal to. It's like, we'll have one that's supposed to look like an old school campaign, but then also one about fighting super monsters, but also one that's Gears of War, and like Leon and Chris's in particular were like a tear between two massively different audiences, but with the same engine and controls and mechanics.
Which is funny, since the survival horror campaign, like the last 3 chapters is just boss fights.
Let's see here.
There's a boss fight in chapter 2. 2 in chapter 4. There's 3 in chapter 5.
So are you hosting, or what's going to happen?
It'd probably be better you host. You most likely have better internet than I do.
Do you know how to host?
Yes.
I'm trying to figure
select, out. Click Leon.
I'm in the difficulty select screen right now.
Chapter 1-1. And then go to professional. And then press A after that, and it should take you to an invite screen. Or whatever OK is on your selection.
Objective settings. Oh, I forgot about these. Playing for fun, serious players only, playing for medals, here for the story. I forgot about all those. Like a weird public message thing. Alright, online. Allowing partner join.
You think all this could have been done on that screen with the difficulty, right?
Yeah. Like, if I have it set to partner join allow and online, does that mean you can join now, or I have to do start game first? You gotta
invite me. You gotta press OK again, and then it has like a pop-up screen that says, "Hey, this is you. Invite somebody."
Bizarre. Okay. Oh yeah, because it says start game, but then it says actually you're in a lobby now. When you said start game, I'm like, that's not what start game means. Start game means like the game's gonna start.
All right.
Did you make it in, or?
I'm in, yes.
Okay.
Bioorganic weapons are a global threat. Start working with the rest of the world. We have to come to my desire to Redfield and tell them it might create more problems than it's time we take responsibility. We want to have any chance. I've always valued your friendship, Leon.
Stay right where you are. Mr. President! Don't make me do this.
It's all my fault. I did this.
What are you talking about?
Tolok's Cathedral. I'll explain everything there, Agent Kennedy.
How do you know my name?
Yes?
Hunnigan,
Thank God you're both all right.
how do you two know each other?
That's Helena Harper. She's been with the Secret Service since last year. I can't tell you how good it is to hear you two are all right. Look, I hate to rush introductions, but I need a report on your situation.
I just shot the president.
What are you? He had already been infected by the time we found him. Leon did what he had to. He saved my life.
God help us. All right, I'll submit the report. You two just focus on getting the hell out of there. The virus has already spread 3 miles past the campus perimeter, and it's not slowing down. You need to hurry.
Not before we check out Tolok's Cathedral. Agent Kennedy's got a lead that might tell us who's responsible for this.
Leon, is that true?
Yeah, I think I might have something.
Roger that. I'll map out the safest access route. Keep your radio on.
I got a lead?
You will if you come with me.
You ever get the feeling that they're secretly like really into the Resident Evil movies?
Talking about Capcom?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I've never seen the movies.
So like they just did something that's straight out of Resident Evil, the first Resident Evil movie,
You have some sins to confess.
which is that they just go
Hard to explain.
way too heavy into like weird like grayscale flashbacks of like a bunch of different scenes all playing together like that.
Wait a second. I'm getting really bad screen tear.
I think I'm getting some frame dropping too.
Think turning anti-aliasing off will fix it?
Well, I mean, you can turn on VSync.
Seems like it fixed it. All right, what were you saying about the movie?
Let's see. So in the movie, especially the first one, they had tons of scenes where they would show like some character would have like a revelation where like they're flashing around and like, oh, like grayscale flashing and like a bunch of weird out of focus shots and somebody whispering and like a background thing, like, and they just did that exact thing in this game in the actual, and this is technically the source material, whereas that's like a weird adaptation that people don't see as like legitimate half the time. It's interesting to see that pop up as being like, oh, they're gonna like the movies are kind of infecting the games basically.
Once we get to the cathedral. Deal?
Deal.
I'm about to watch the movies. Like I watched a little bit of the very first one, and they started with that hive mess, and I kind of lost interest.
They're almost exactly as dumb as the games are most of the time lately.
And like, I wasn't the biggest fan of Resident Evil 7. Like I enjoyed it when it first came out, but like after the initial like talk of like, hey, I'm playing a first-person Resident Evil.
You see one of them, aim for the head. It's your
The story
best
kind of sucks.
Got it.
It seems like seems kind of like Fear, like the games. Like Fear had a baby with Resident Evil.
This is where the reception was gonna be.
I ended up having fun with Resident Evil 7 because it quickly became apparent that it's some sort of ridiculous grindhouse experience.
I hope so.
I like that it didn't go completely up its own ass with a really convoluted, like, multi-layer conspiracy story that the last few games have had that usually doesn't make sense by the end.
Survivors.
Right, I agree with you there. But at the same time, the mold creatures were kind of crappy. And like,
But if you really did,
I know this is kind of like an odd comparison.
freedom goodbye.
It felt like unoriginal, just like Prey's enemies felt unoriginal.
Yeah, I've never actually played Prey.
You didn't play Prey for your channel?
No, just, I've never played it in general.
Only one
I
way to
figured that'd be something you would have jumped on.
Oh, Prey. Wait a minute. I was thinking of Fear.
Yeah,
I was
Prey.
completely on the wrong, just complete wrong wavelength for that entire conversation. I don't know why I was thinking of Fear. Probably because of chronology, because Prey is a new game. So I was thinking of like what old game would have infected Resident Evil 7. Oh, that was weird.
What happened?
I entered third-person camera and aimed right, and my character started aiming independent of the screen. Like Perfect Dark.
Never played Perfect Dark.
I ended up aiming down at the bottom right corner of my screen because my character was turning and his reticle was changing, but his camera wasn't changing. That was a weird trip.
Wait! Don't shoot!
Are you alright?
The fog.
What?
The fog. It came out of nowhere. Liz! Wait, let me go! It's too dangerous. My daughter, she's all alone. If we don't do something...
Alright, I get it. But if you don't keep it down, you won't live to save her. You understand?
Liz.
Is that your daughter? Alright, let's find her.
Leon, we don't have time
We're
to...
making the time.
You know what? Was something that bothers me about this game? At the very first like little section where that cutscene where he like shoots the president, like Leon's been through Resident Evil 2 and 4 at this point.
That sound.
Yeah, and he's
And
like,
he
zombie,
hesitates.
I'll reason with it by talking to it. I think it implies that maybe he's friends with the president, so it hurts him or something, or they just play up the drama every time because they just insist on it. But yeah, there's a weird layer of like, he seems to not understand that a zombie's not going to change its mind, and like it's literally about to kill somebody and you're hesitating.
Who turned the lights off?
It's a mistake that still happens sometimes, even with Walking Dead, where you're like 6 seasons in and you're like, how is this show, how are people still not, people are somehow screwing up with zombies on a regular basis, and you don't know how.
This right here is actually a pretty good atmosphere. But I'm always in the camp that as long as you give me a firearm of some sort, I can't be scared in that game. Because like, what's the penalty for dying? Newer games, generally nothing. You get set back 35 seconds.
Yeah, I can't think of a lot of games I've even played that were consistently scary.
Never know what to expect around here.
But this
Last one I had was Amnesia.
We need to
and
find her.
I think Amnesia was special for people because it was new,
Close.
and then everyone chased that trend. So even then, that idea lost its magic before long. The problem with this kind of atmosphere is that I don't remember. Do they do anything with it? I don't remember if you actually fight anything in one of these rooms. Or if they just be like, ooh, spooky rooms that you walk through and then nothing ever happens, and that kind of messes with the effect a bit.
How are you running? Don't let me run.
Maybe it's because I aimed. I also keep aiming. And I think that makes the game think I'm supposed to move faster. Oh,
There
now
it
I'm
goes.
slow again.
You come up here, there's a first aid.
I became slow again. No, come back. Oh, holding A will make me run.
Here's a first aid right here.
Oh, this is one of those games where if you start running, it locks it into a specific camera angle.
For how much time we have before these corpses are on their feet.
I'm one of those people that'll crab claw where I'll be holding A with my index finger and then still using the joystick with my thumb so I can still look around manually. So if they take control away from me for the camera, it'll just start freaking out.
Let me ask you this question. How many times did you do that for Wasteland 2?
For Wasteland 2?
Yes.
I mean, that's a top-down isometric game.
Yeah, but you can walk around freely. And like,
All right.
I always found like,
I will be once
Maybe-
I find my daughter.
the Wasteland 2 that was like that?
There's help, but we got cut off.
No, it's Dark Souls.
Somewhere.
Dark Souls is what I meant to ask about. Because you have to hold circle with Dark Souls and you're running. But you can't
Yeah.
really look around and run at the same time.
Yeah, I'll definitely be, I'll definitely like crab claw the controller and like start, I'll often be pressing run with a different finger than normal.
Working to get there.
It's locked, but I work here. I've got the keys.
One thing I've always struggled with on PCs
Take my car.
is I hold my keyboard.
Daughter and get out of here.
I grew up playing Diablo and StarCraft. That was like my first like exposure to like PC gaming, and it made it so that I would use the home row keys more so than anything else. Because in Diablo, you didn't really use the keys that often. Like B was backpack, and 1, 2, 3, 4 were like potions, and like most of it was like clicking with the mouse. And then StarCraft, you had hotkeys all over the keyboard, so it's good to have like something that you're familiar with, like home row keys. By the way, fun fact: you have an exit that is a window right there. There's no exit back here.
Just taking
There's
a
a
quick
table
second to
thing.
try to fix the game because like I think it's recording in a weird frame rate because something about this is screwing with my stuff. I went for turning off VSync and turning down aliasing maybe. I don't know. This game runs perfectly until I start recording it. It's frustrating.
Careful.
So what I ended up doing with my gaming was that I would put my left hand on like the home row keys, like F, D, A, S, and A, and I would move WASD, which is WSASD, with my left hand.
I like that we couldn't get through there.
Okay. I'm fat. I can't do that most of the time.
I tried to shoot her so hard just now.
I like how nobody questions the pool of blood and the dead bodies, and she's covered in blood.
It's fine. It's not like Liam's, but the protagonist of several zombie games.
Already got out.
He can't recognize the signs. That's why he tried to talk to the zombie President Evil. Maybe that guy's just trying to check his heart rate.
Like in video games, like especially games of this genre, like you look at this
Wait.
whiteboard.
Wait, come look at this guy.
That is a pleasure face if I've ever seen one.
Oh wait, that's the bottom guy's hand. I thought that there's a hand under his head, and I thought it was the top guy's hand, like somehow crumpled under his body. It looks really strange.
It looks like he had a pretty good time though.
Yeah.
Look, you look at this whiteboard, like is there like when you design this kind of stuff, I know you're supposed to be like an archaeologist or something like that, but I'm just saying you're not in a video game design field. Like, is there actually something you actually factor this in and you just dilute it down resolution wise to it looks
Wait,
like
I'm
gibberish?
bewildering.
Yes.
When did I get that?
That's the boss killer. That's what I
don't-
call the boss killer,
I
the
don't
wing
remember
shooter.
having that.
How do we get out of this
I'm always just a little turned off when I can't read stuff like that.
parking lot?
It's like even in like the last game I seen was Prey.
Hey, it's the same whiteboard with the same writing on it from the other room. It bothers me I can't read it. Like, it's so low resolution that you can't make out any of the text on it.
Yeah, but like I'm wondering if there's actual text there, or did they design it in a way that they know it's never going to be read, so they just write down gibberish and just
They write down
downscale it.
jokes. Like how there's like the what was it?
I'm glad you guys were here.
I think there was like I don't remember what movie it was, but there was some joke where somebody was standing off on the side of the screen with a small postcard being like HD rules or something like that. during a movie because it was something you wouldn't be able to read if you were watching the VHS copy, or he'd either be out of frame or too blurry or something.
Mm-hmm. I always feel like these kind of like intros are a bad design flaw.
The slow cinematic walk forward and don't play a real video game for half an hour intros.
Yes, because like it's cool the first time you play it, but if you ever replay the game, it's a hassle.
It's like last year's E3 presentation for God of War, where it was just he was just walking forward for the entire playthrough of the demo.
I don't understand Japanese developers anymore.
Liz?
Why does no one... Everyone in this universe is so baffled by zombies.
For some reason I don't feel like a grown man would have that reaction. Like if that was my daughter, I'd be more furious than I would be like sissy crying on my hands and knees.
Did we? Feels like we missed something, didn't we? Did we skip the middle scene where he gets attacked?
No, there is no scene where he gets attacked.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's bizarre. I forgot about the wiggle sticks, by the way. That's
What is that on PC? Are you using the controller?
No, I'm using a controller. I remember I had to learn eventually that if you can actually wiggle both sticks simultaneously for double the effect, which is kind of important to figure out.
And they don't hesitate.
Why did this have to happen?
Follow me.
I don't think we're alone in here.
Elena.
So to be clear, when I say that people don't seem to understand zombies, I'm not talking about like I get him reacting to his own daughter dying regardless, but like Leon and Helena are both just standing here while this clearly infected zombie person kills her father, and they did nothing about it. And like Leon's been the protagonist. This is like Leon's third game as protagonist. Okay, I need to ask, how do you reload in this game? I can't find it.
That's our cue to get the hell out of here.
How do you do what?
I can't find the reload button.
Or X.
Ow.
X is reload. Unlike Resident Evil 5, which you gotta aim down sight and press A.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Weird. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I just don't have any bullets. Never mind. I guess that makes sense. Okay. I've been trying to find the reload button like this entire playthrough, and I didn't realize I just had never found ammo yet.
You've been using all your bullets for?
Got stormed by zombies. After 15 minutes of walking forward in a straight line, I wanted to play a game for a second.
You act like you couldn't hear shambling creatures behind you in a hallway.
Oh yeah, that's the it's the usual zombie problem where like zombies, whenever they're on camera, because anything on camera always has to constantly make noise, they make all kinds of constant grasping noises, but then whenever it's necessary to actually get somebody killed, zombies are ninjas.
There's nothing we can do.
Leon has that hero complex hard. He must be American.
Yeah.
Like literally, like if I looked at it, I'd be like, man, those dudes are fucked. That'd be on my thought process.
Get the hell out of here.
So Leon is such a bleeding heart that he's like, I'm gonna save every single person looks vaguely in danger, but he just lets that dude get killed by his daughter.
Yeah, he could,
knowing
he could
full
literally
well
like,
she's gonna turn. Like what a, like that the scene in the elevator makes him look like some sort of psychopath. But like just a moment, later, he's like right back to bleeding heart from earlier. Really, it's really strange. It's like they wanted to show someone turn into a zombie in case people somehow don't know what zombies are when they're playing this game.
And anyone who breathed it in got infected.
That would mean everyone on campus.
Yeah.
Again, the tutorial's still going on.
Quiet. I've got a bad feeling.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Oh right, this game is like a multiple headshot policy.
Well, it depends on what your crit is. Do that. Come up here, there's a herb.
Yeah. Oh. Getting stuck. Really shows you how fast graphics age, because this isn't super old, but it was last gen, so immediately you're really noticing it. Like, it's passable, but you can definitely tell that it's an older game already. Mostly wall textures, really.
I was noticing that. I don't know what graphics card you're using, but I'm using the 1070.
Yeah, I'm on the 1070 also.
And like, I was noticing like, this looks like shit, even for a PC game.
Yeah. Like, the character models kind of work, except for the main characters kind of work. All the NPC, random disposable people look like they're from a different, lower quality game, which is weird. But all the walls are like, you can tell they're a low resolution texture spread out across the wall. Oh, his whole head just came off.
Resident Evil 6, WWE edition.
10 minutes in this game, I'm like, so this is supposed to be some kind of horror thing, right? And then I was playing as Helena, and I did like her like La Mariposa like wrestling move to take someone down by like locking the ankles on their head and like throwing her entire body to fling them across the room. And I'm like, what in the world?
Hit them hoes with the Hurricanrana, son.
I'm like, what genre am I in? I'm so confused.
I like how they still marketed it as survival horror. I don't think there's ever one period in this game where I was terrified of anything.
This is the only campaign in the game that kind of tries to even look like survival horror.
Uh-oh.
There it goes. Oh god. Oh god. I didn't even get back up. I forgot that this game has like a whole ground game to it. Alright, I need to figure out the inventory stuff because I'm actually in danger now.
Oh, you need help? I got you. I got you.
Let's
Hold
see.
up.
There's the first aid spray. I guess that's it then.
I got 6 first aid sprays.
Where did they hide the crafting menu that I know you have to use in this game?
Triangle. Well, why?
There we go.
I'm sorry if I give you PlayStation
No,
controls.
it's fine. I'm confused by people who get confused by that stuff. As long as you don't get, as long as I know which one you're talking about before you say X.
Yes. Well, it's technically a cross.
I'll press X on the yeah, you mean X on the Switch controller, right? The melee is hilarious in this game. Oh, I stomped on his dick and his head popped off. Yeah, I'll accept that. A little bit of an anime reaction, but sure.
Gauge. Gun I never use. Got the people's elbow there.
The zombie slaps are surprisingly damaging on this difficulty. The ones that look like they don't even damage you when you look at the animation. Oh, there's my wrestling move. There it goes.
That's the Sky High Bulldog. That's like, well, who was that? The dog-faced gremlin? Rick Steiner?
I definitely don't know wrestling.
You didn't watch wrestling in the 80s? I mean,
No.
90s?
My entire exposure to wrestling was that I played WCW versus NWO on the Nintendo 64, and that was it.
Rick Steiner was on that game?
I don't know who was in it besides the ninja. I was at the age where I was like, there's a ninja in this game, and that's basically what I took away from it. And I think maybe Hulk
All
Hogan
about the
was in
ninja.
it.
He had the boxer, the ninja.
And because of my exposure, like as a kid at that age, I only knew Hulk Hogan because he was in the third Three Ninjas movie.
The one to Space Mountain?
Yeah, three ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain, starring
yeah.
Hulk Hogan. A weird era. Nowadays, I don't know if kids' movies the first thing that comes to mind when people think of what to use Hulk Hogan for.
Huh. It turns out he's a racist.
And this just like sex tape stuff would probably hurt your chance at some of that stuff. These quick time events are relentless.
There's an option so you can never fail them.
Is there really?
Yes.
That would nullify entire enemy types, wouldn't it?
Pretty much.
There's like some enemy types that only exist as quick time events, basically.
Over here's where we gotta go, though.
Oh, the most infuriating room in the entire game, you mean?
How are you at half health again?
Where Leon does the really stupid thing? Oh, never mind, we're not there yet.
Keep that trigger finger ready.
Soon we'll be at that, soon we'll be at that metal detector where our protagonist is forced to be stupid.
Oh, yeah, it's right up the road here.
Yeah, I've been meleeing too much, and it's been clearly a mistake, because on this difficulty, the really weak little zombie slaps are actually, like, devastating, apparently, to Leon.
Do you not have a defense on?
I don't think I have anything on.
That might be why you're taking so much damage.
I think I'm playing a vanilla character.
Run all the way back to the end of the hallway here.
Blah.
Just
There was
follow.
ammo back there. Oh, never mind. That was a mistake. That was a severe mistake. Huh. I think I got attacked by someone else during that the quick time event. Is that a thing that happens?
Maybe.
They're trying to throw bottles at us. That raises questions.
I want to get behind me.
Oop. There we go. That's so much ammo. Oh, there's more. Forgot how long this part was.
I keep wanting to use the Dark Souls run.
Wow. That's gone. I think we just killed more enemies than were in the entirety of Resident Evil 7.
I'm trying to pick up all this ammo here.
It's open. Get out of there now.
Oh right,
Teleport?
oh right, they kick us out before we can grab everything. No, story, why? Items. They're even there in the cutscene still to taunt you. Oh right, they're doing this. This very like Time Crisis 2 looking moment. With way more gore.
Crisis. You know what game they should remake? Or reboot or whatever they want to call it? Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis? Yeah, the Capcom games that had almost the same like engine and gameplay style.
As Resident Evil,
but with dinosaurs.
it had the same engine and style, like the 3D style, but like it was more of a survival horror game than Resident Evil was. Here's your first emblem.
Because the dinosaurs are scary.
There's only enough ammo in the game to take out like I think 7 or 8 raptors.
Jesus.
If you subtract all the ammo for like the bosses.
And
Let me
I'm
get this.
guessing that
Let me get this. Let me get this.
What are we getting? Oh, the key. I was combining items. So I forget. Is spray just an item you get and not craft?
You only can craft herbs. That's it.
So the spray comes fully formed, and the 6 herb is the best herb.
Yes. Well, you got to put them in your case. And you press
Right.
R1.
Oh right.
If you're next to each other, you share it.
I hear that wiggle stick. remember I was so far along in trying to script a review for this game back when it came out that I even went as far as getting permission from Miracle of Sound to use his Wiggle Sticks song in the review.
Wiggle Sticks.
He just
I
had
hate the Wiggle Stick.
He had a whole parody song just about the quick time events in this game.
Just skip them. We don't need those guys.
Oh, well. I thought that melee attack was going for you, but it came for me. Oh. Oh, man. This game is fascinating because it has really, really bizarre design decisions throughout the whole thing. But man, if it's not the most ridiculously polished game because of the fact that it has so much money and 600 people pointed at it. Mm-hmm. That really shines through in moments like that where I'm like, oh, a melee finisher specific to the fact that that guy was holding a knife. Hey, Leon, now jump over the desk. Jump over the desk, Leon. Jump over the desk, Leon. Leon, what's wrong with you? No, Leon, stop. What are you doing?
Should have known. We did know better. You wouldn't allow us to do the right thing.
You idiot. What's wrong with you? It's so confusing. Like, they give you specifically a chest-high desk that's totally uncluttered you could easily jump over, just to, like, make it extra dumb when you inevitably walk through the metal detector.
This is Pat and Charlie section.
Here's the part with a weird number of car crashes.
Well, I mean, just run past everything.
Whoa, my hair. You see that? Oh right, this is great. We've got to search for the keys.
One thing I hate about this section is like he tears out of this place like he has somewhere to be, and he's late.
I found the keys.
I don't think the zombie's gonna outrun the car even if it's going 25 miles an hour.
That one specific. How did that one not bite me? I mean, I know we're in the Resident Evil universe where seemingly bites don't actually kill you and turn you into zombies right away anyway, but... Whoa.
Hey, look at this. Like, you don't have to drive like this. We're good.
There's video existing of me doing this part on the internet already, and I couldn't stop laughing. There it is.
Like, why? Why? Why would you do that?
That broke me so
Why not just
hard
slam
when
on
I
the brakes and
experienced
just
it.
dunk him off the front?
You would think Leon's some rookie that's never seen a zombie before, let alone, like, a broken out of an entire city escape level game before.
You know what that was? That's writers not knowing how to segue. That's what that is.
They wanted to have a search for the thing in an emergency in your car segment, but they also, like, didn't want you to actually keep your car. So they're like, he crashes it. How does he crash it? He's scared of zombies now.
Like, looking at it this way, why not just have us find the manhole and just do away with the entire car section?
Yeah. Why not have, like, some sort of large truck coming down the street at us and we have to jump down the manhole to escape it? If you want to have your action moment.
This is supposed to be the subtle love moment.
They're a man and a woman in a thing together. They must be in love.
We should hurry.
Speaking about love in Resident Evil games, Leon has got to be a cuckold.
Come on. Let's just...
Because, like, look at it this way. Resident Evil 2 came out in 98, alright? And he started getting, he got the hard on for Ada in 98, and she's been playing him from Resident Evil 2 to this one, which takes place in 2013. So, like, Leon's been getting played for at least 15 years by Ada.
It might create more problems than it solves. A lesson I learned well in the military. Bioorganic weapons are a global threat, and we are partly to blame. We have to come clean and start working with the rest of the world if we want to have any chance of fighting this.
Whatever you decide, sir, I'm with you.
I've always valued your friendship, Leon. It's time we take responsibility and end this mess.
Imagine if Leon was like the special service for Donald Trump in this situation.
It's gonna be a tough.
Well, we know how it ends, apparently.
Donald Trump would be like, we're not working with the rest of the world. We're going to make everything better.
Let's get moving. We don't have much time.
Certainly got our work cut out for us.
Believe me, I know.
This whole section of game is so pointless. Like, you can literally run through it.
There's something interestingly naive about having like Capcom and generally like a lot of Japanese games have like these American presidents in them that are like optimistic and gonna save the world and stuff like that.
I'll still be tracking your movements, but be careful.
Like a lot of modern Western governments are going more and more towards leadership that actually kind of just hates everyone outside of the country, and those are becoming more and more positive stances. Like that's not even like a particularly political point. It's just like a basic observation of how like America and like even England have been voting lately. Like they specifically like, nope, fuck everyone else, us only is like their general approach. So like the Japanese fictionalized versions of our presidents are more optimistic than the real ones. Resident Evil is interesting because it has this weird like. It has like this super long timeline where seemingly the entire apocalypse has been happening for like 20 years, and yet everything, it's still like a semblance of normal society with like pockets of problems. It's like, I didn't really realize until later that basically all of Resident Evil does kind of work like Dead Rising, where like, oh no, this one city's in trouble, and that just happens over and over again for decades. Which is like the antithesis of how I've ever seen the zombie apocalypse handled outside of Capcom games. It's always like all of society is doomed or something.
Well, you would think that the fact that Raccoon City was like in the situation they were in, that it would have spread past Raccoon City even as quickly as they nuked it.
And
like,
or you would think that if they could beat back the entire virus that many times in a row, you'd think that it would not be able to come back so often.
You think they would put some tax money towards like maybe a vaccine towards it as well.
But there's always a convoluted like conspiracy character storyline that's always the reason why it's back again this time now. That guy looked like Commander Shepard until his head exploded.
Always play the females.
Yeah, but the male Commander Shepard's the only one you can say refer to for as a set appearance.
Look, this part, the light goes out for like 2 seconds.
How's that for timing?
Mine's out too.
I wish I could see. Nope, there it goes. There it goes. These oh, that's not you, that's a zombie. These guys are surprisingly like turn into like these little like fleet-footed boxers all of a sudden, where you'll miss one swing at them and then they'll immediately grapple you in response. Like they'll be so on
your
on
second
point.
emblem's right there, yeah.
Whoa, you knocked him right back upstairs somehow. There's so many holes in him. And he looks like Wesker?
I just did a drop kick. He also had like a Ken from Street Fighter kick. Did you see that?
Oh, that'd be great if every single character zombie in a Resident Evil game was based on existing like Capcom properties. You just find like Strider in there somewhere, and like maybe half the cast of like Power Stone.
This is a nightmare.
It's fine.
Just go up the left side. We're good.
Look out! Train!
I like how they completely ignore if you actually touch the tracks, since they're obviously still alive. You would just get zapped.
Oh yeah, we're not really encountering like a third rail problem here.
Yeah. The trains obviously just ran off these electric rails.
Hey, the train's still stopping at stations. Oh wait, this one has people on it, doesn't it?
Hold up, we're going to fight these guys off right here.
At some point we count like an obligatory idiot because one has to show up every few minutes. Oh no, you're getting chomped on by Commander Shepard. Oh, his hat came off. Oh, she just gave up. Couldn't quite make the shot because apparently Leon has a minimum. He has a minimum aiming angle. So if a character's too far below him, he actually can't aim at them.
Now you got to do the long part. You got to come up here and be like, "Hey, the door didn't open."
There's a lot of like suicidal idiots in this Leon's early campaign.
Want to have a look around in there? Boost me up on top.
Just don't leave me behind.
Why would we boost at a lower spot instead of the higher spot? Aren't we just at a better boosting spot?
I heard zombies coming, so prepare yourself.
Like we were just at a higher part and we went lower by like 4 feet so that I could boost you even further.
Yeah, at Capcom, we do superior boosting techniques. Ancient Japanese samurai. That's my racist Capcom voice, by the way.
I got attacked as soon as I dropped in.
You know it's bad when it's just so far off that you have to explain that you're trying to do a racist Japanese voice. Because it's not really even apparent until you say like samurai or something.
Yeah. I'm surprised the samurai character hasn't made it into Resident Evil yet. It's kind of like From Software, like they always like big up the
it'd be the
katanas.
Resident Evil Onimusha crossover.
Yeah. I forgot about Onimusha. That's
Yeah.
a series that needs to come back too.
Their other fixed camera angle, like slow exploration, pre-rendered environment engine game. Once upon a time, that series had an exciting sequel where that was guest starring Jean Reno. Because apparently Japan's like really into that guy. Because Japan's like really into Paris in general and heavily romanticizes it. They're like really into like having like a French actor in their game and stuff like that.
You talking about Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny?
It was either
Like-
two or three. They added like Leon the Professional.
And no, I didn't play 3. I played 2. It had like the fat dude with a spear and the guy with a gun and then like the ninja.
Yeah, he was in a trench coat and he had a beard, short hair.
Yeah.
Would have been the gun guy. Yeah, that's a French actor named Jean Reno. Oh,
Not a big fan of the French myself.
interesting
I like the English-speaking
recoil there.
colonies.
Here's the person I was talking about.
That's right.
Yeah,
Like
this person would be the person that would turn me down on Plenty of Fish.
Oh right, we have to co-op. We have to co-op open the door to the like suicidally stupid person.
Yeah, I can picture her Plenty of Fish profile right now. I'm a hard-working single mother that her kids come first. Tries hard and her life is terrible.
All right, now they're puking at us. Whoa. Well, that clears them out. That guy just puked directly into a wall. I don't know how I could ever hit him with more headshots. I've hit him in the head like 14 times. And he's just Just bouncing back and up and down like one of those inflatable toys. Once like kids are supposed to punch and they just go down and bounce back up over and over again. He took like a clip to the face. Oh right, you are beaded. You got like one piece of health at a time. Mm-hmm. So
if you stand next to each other, you can share it.
So you make like the 6th health thing, and then it becomes 6 individual healths instead.
Mm-hmm. It just gives you more for your buck.
Yeah.
What are conditions like up there?
They look like the that old type of, that older candy that's like dots of candy on paper. I think I saw them in Willy Wonka for 10 years before I ever encountered an actual real-life copy of it. But like, there'd be that candy that's just a grid of dots that's literally stuck to a sheet of paper.
Where are the dots that stuck?
They look exactly like the herb paper when it has 6 of them. Like, that's an actual candy type that used to be prevalent, but people gave up on it eventually because it's kind of a hassle and the paper gets stuck to it. Really, it's not a great time. Whoa!
Is it kind of like those fun dips? I hated fun dips.
Well, fun dip was just a pouch.
Yeah, but like you had that little candy stick, and like the pouch paper always would like the stick would eventually get covered with like little candy powder. I don't know, I just hated it. Keep moving, son. This is the Pat and Charlie area. By the way, people that are watching this Let's Play, this is areas that we should be. The game wants us to like fight through, but it's less efficient.
There's no real reason to, because it's definitely just hordes and hordes of zombies and mayhem and fire everywhere and cars crashing at comically convenient times. It feels like the whenever South Park has like an emergency around town and everyone's just immediately starts crashing into each other and having fatal car accidents all over town simultaneously whenever there's an emergency. Because that's exactly what's happening here, is every time you walk into another hallway, someone else is dying in a car crash just over and over again. Perfectly timed to you walking through, which is what makes it really weird. At some point you feel like the player is the harbinger of death, and just by walking into a room, NPCs are just all going to start dying around you.
That's good commentary by your boy Jordie there. And ooh.
Who put this up here? That's a weird place to store garbage.
It makes you wonder how the school bus got turned sideways with the garbage can up there.
That school bus must have been like Tokyo drifting, basically. Like, it must have been going so fast that it could spin while braking in order to turn sideways, but somehow not flip over.
Oh, dude, that bus would have flipped over 3 times.
Yeah, that bus would be actually more believable if it was tipped over while blocking the road. But then I could boost you over it, and they couldn't use it as a diversion. We've already established the boosting mechanic.
Samurai boosting mechanic.
This guy just wanted one last meal. Just died sadly in front of an open refrigerator.
That would probably be me in like the Resident Evil world. I'd be like,
jeez.
If I'm going out and getting a bologna sandwich.
I don't know if it's funnier that you stumble over everybody in this game, or that like when you stumble, it warns your other co-op friend that you're stumbling. Like your reticle turns red every time you stumble. Because the game wants me to know that you stumbled because it's worried for you.
All right, you've played this game obviously, so like, why aren't Helena and Leon like struggling with this virus that is like killing people sitting in their homes? And like, why is this guy half eaten back here? And like the other guy's cool. Like these guys in here.
It might be trying to suggest that only some people are affected by it, or it might be... well, doesn't everyone wake up here and attack us?
Or just one person.
Oh no! It's that guy. He looks so zombie-y.
Like he's so scary, you don't even have to fight him.
The illusion somehow works less... it somehow works less well when they don't look gross yet, and they just look like a normal person gnashing their teeth. Like, that guy just looked like a character from Bully, basically.
Boom, shotgun.
There we go.
Now I can start using the shotgun. I'm trying not to use weapons you don't have access to.
Oh right, now we start getting the Left 4 Dead like special infected variants stacked in. Ugh.
Like the cutscene makes it feel like he's calling for reinforcements, but like he never does. Like other than this section, you never get reinforcements for this guy.
We just deleted that guy.
It's like nails on a chalkboard.
Well, now that's just watching them all come out of like comical doors and everything while we're going down a hallway, and they all they all explode comically and everything. Like it just feels like we're playing House of the Dead now, and it just makes me want a new House of the Dead game. I love that House of the Dead style nonsense where just a bunch of zombies are just pouring out of different directions in weird, nonsensical ways. Like, how'd that guy get in the cupboard? Oh, what a card. Oh, that's yours now. Oh.
I like how they do that.
Like the multi-part finisher.
Well, like Chris for.
Yeah, that too, right?
Yeah.
That's the polish. That's the amazing thing that comes when you have 600 people working your game, is that those options come up.
But I love when you get, like, for example, Chris has one where he like picks the zombie up over his head and like a gorilla press slam, like the Ultimate Warrior. And like he'll take it and he'll throw it at another zombie, and like you can do the same thing with the pipe zombie. Like you can pull it out of him and he'll throw it and hit somebody else. You do damage to both of them.
That's a hell of a jump.
That's the kind of jump you'd probably want to talk about before you actually did it in real life.
Yeah, they didn't really coordinate it very much, and considering they just met a moment ago, they're actually like weirdly like in sync with each other mentally. So one of my hopes is to salvage some fun out of this game in co-op, because I played it single player the first time, and aside from being kind of monotonous alone, there's also just like really dumb parts where the game's challenge curve breaks when you're playing single player. Because every time that you're supposed to guard your co-op partner, it doesn't work if your co-op partner's an AI, because they're invincible. Mm-hmm. So like there's a part later on we'll get to where Leon and Helena split up, and one of them's like sniping to cover the other one while they go through a whole gauntlet. And if you're playing as the sniper, you can just do nothing that entire part and save all of your ammo. Because the AI character will just slowly struggle their way through the entire level without any of your help, because they're invincible. Even
Not
if
the case in Resident Evil 5.
Even if they are getting like ganged up on by a bunch of people.
There's your third emblem right there.
I should probably not use a pistol. There we go. Probably shouldn't use a shotgun for that.
Third? No, that's the fourth.
Now
That's
here's
the fourth.
our Gears of War moment.
I just run over here,
We have to help him.
put on my old electric bomb here. Click.
Oh,
Oh, you went back that way? Come on, man. I'll come get you.
I may have not fully known what you were doing.
I was Allah Akbaring. I'm gonna get out of the way here because of there's gonna be an ambulance coming in right soon.
There's a screamer that's here. This part just always reminds me of the elements of what is it? Gears of War, where you're like defending a gas station in the dark during like in the middle of like the krill levels.
Woo! Tree.
Oh, well that didn't work.
I like you can't shoot the gas until they tell you to shoot the gas.
Well now. I got shot a lot just now.
Someone shoot the gas. We can blow these things to Kingdom Come.
Please shoot the gas, Leon. There we go.
I like how my Leon essentially just blew up 4 times in a row, or got shot and just got beaten down and exploded and almost hit by a car.
We can rearm there.
Jack is still looking fresh though.
People there too. What do you think?
Those gel inserts.
This is a very long stage, by the way.
Yeah. I think Leon's is the longest campaign, isn't it?
Depends on how you rate it, because like the first and second stage are huge, but the third, fourth, and fifth stages are like 20 minutes each. I'm gonna heal. If you
The
wanna...
entire second half of his campaign is these like prolonged boss fights.
Mm-hmm. It all depends on how much firepower you saved up. Like the Ustanak, like it's probably my favorite boss fight in the game, where you got to fight with Ustanak with 4 people. By the way, that's a spoiler that there's a monster in the game called the Ustanak. But like he's an awesome boss fight, because the way that you get to use the entire mechanics of the game, like with all the flips and the jump backs and like the jump forwards, and it's very fun.
It's amazing thinking about Resident Evil 7 while playing this game. Like just the completely gargantuan gap in approach.
Yeah, like Leon in Resident Evil 6 would destroy Resident Evil 7.
It's interesting just how true to the games the movies ultimately are. Because like all the way down to like getting together with like groups of random people, and like they're all just disposable, unnamed people that are gonna get picked off one by one as you go through some camp or something, and or hold off in one like very temporary shelter where you're not even entirely sure why you wanted to hold it off, because it's gonna be gone a moment later anyway, but everyone died defending it. And like all the cheesy plot structures and almost everything is weirdly true between the movies and the games, despite how much fans of the games like to complain about the movies. Oh right, there's a stamina bar, at which point Leon becomes hilariously inept at kicking.
Funny, because the stamina bar doesn't deplete when you're running, it just stops going up.
Yeah.
The only game I ever done stamina
shoot the
bar
light
right
out?
was
You
Dark
can't
Souls.
how can you not shoot the light out? Oh, you can't shoot the light out because that scene needs to happen later.
Shit, my gun's jammed. Give me your gun. Yeah, you idiots can fight it out if you want. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Calling somebody idiot while grabbing a gun from the front.
Oh wow.
It's like, that's about as dumb as you get.
Yeah, he grabbed it by the muzzle while I was pointing it at him, and almost gets shot and calls everyone else an idiot.
Her finger's on the trigger, so he's helping her pull the trigger as well.
He's totally incapable. He's utterly incapable of dealing with the fact that his gun's jammed, and everyone else is apparently an idiot.
Pull the bolt back, man. Pull it back nice and hard.
Oh, there it goes.
That scene was supposed to show you that if zombies have red eyes, don't shoot them in the head. That's what you're supposed to get from that. Hey, Mr. Red Eye, come get me, buddy.
Also, just a really strange decision where he shoots a zombie and it falls down, and he doesn't just leave. He's like, I'm gonna hang out with the zombie now. So I'm gonna see what happens. Maybe it'll be interesting. Oh. There are so many zombies on the floor.
Oh crap. Okay.
Oh, that was a bad idea. Oh!
Oh!
Hey.
Ash is down again.
I could have planned better for that part, just in general. I shot at an exploding fireman, which is a great idea when you're not standing next to them. But I was.
Come on. Alright, we gotta get.
Alright. Get away from him. I assume the red eyes guy is gone at this point.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah. The key to beating Red Eyes, but he wanted to come after you the entire time, is to get him to bait his jump attack and then do your counter.
Wow,
on
that guy
him.
like lunged through the window.
My accuracy's gonna be ass this game. Playing with the Xbox One controller, and it's got longer sticks than the standard Xbox controller, and I'm getting used to it. I know that doesn't seem like it should make that big of a difference, but it does.
Time being, store's clear.
You've clocked hours shooting with the previous controller. I'm just not really in the habit of playing shooters too often in general, so I have a pretty. That was great.
He kicked it right in my
Just
face.
kicked the door right through you, and your character just slid like a foot.
Nice work down there. Good news is, I got some folks coming for me in a bus. Any minute now. If we can make it on board, it's a straight shot to Tall Oaks Cathedral. People are evacuating there. Heard it on the radio. But that's a big if. It's a shitstorm out there. We ain't waiting for any.
You know how the games are slowly going into microtransaction fest?
Yeah.
I would literally pay money for an inventory increase in this game. I hate they have it just small enough that I have to choose between ammo types for my guns. I hate it.
Oh, there's the red eye.
Yep. Shoot him in the legs and he'll die.
This game actually teases me with an idea that I'd like to play. There's like a cross between like the Walking Dead Telltale game and like a actual action game where like you have like just the idea of having a party of characters you're trying to keep alive throughout the course of a campaign and fending off a series of attacks and backing through together and like seeing how much of your party is still around and things like that. Like this would be cool if it was developed more, because there's like it's a group of like 6 survivors you're going around with and you're all working together, and but the game's gonna throw it away in about a mission or so from here and just never acknowledge it
I always looked
again.
at this game a lot like the Outbreak series. I don't know if you ever played the Outbreak series.
No, the Resident Evil Outbreak, are those the online ones that they made for a bit?
That's pretty much what that is.
I remember people making a hubbub because I guess in Resident Evil 7, one of the notes essentially confirms, because of who it's written by, that it's that a reporter character from the Outbreak series survived or something.
I don't remember all that. But I didn't read the notes too closely either.
When you're reading newspaper articles about all the dead people in the area in Resident Evil 7, or people going missing, one of them's written by a reporter that was a playable character in that game.
This next character is called the Whopper. His weakness is his legs.
Any more weight and the
Get out
floor's
this
gonna
room,
collapse.
Keith.
That's not very nice.
Get out of the room, Keith.
There was an herb in there.
And I'm gonna take care of the Whopper first.
I was trying to get my other one combined so I could grab the herb. Then everything was going wrong around me.
By the way, that's a flaw in the game design. You see that?
He's just stuck in the corner, huh?
That's how you can do a shot cancel.
Huh. So how are resources handled in this game? Are they instanced, or are we like fighting over the same pool over and over again? I know the collectibles are instanced.
Every thing in the game is unique to you. Like if you get a red herb, I get a red herb too.
So if I see something, just pick it up and don't worry about it ever.
Yes, which I don't
Where'd
like that
go?
because of I like the Resident Evil 5 mechanic where they force you to like think about the ammo and ration it and like pick rolls for people.
In that one, you could even trade inventory items, right?
Yes. Like it'd been cooler if like for example, like there was only enough shotgun shells for one of us to theoretically run a shotgun, And then like the other person had to like get back, Keith. I got it. Get back,
that's
Keith.
bomb. Gotta spot the difference between bombs that are items I can pick up versus bombs that are yours.
Get back, get back. Got him.
Oh, there's a red eye.
Got you. He's dead. That's insta kill. Try not to heal yourself because you'll get a full heal between stages.
Oh!
A Dark Souls rolled him.
I just turned my camera at the exact moment to see a fireman that was just off camera that slapped me in the face, and then it cut to the cutscene. It's just a really funny moment. So I'm focused on all the people coming off this railing that like 90% of the zombies are coming from, but one of them must have climbed up the building next to us. And I just turned just in time to see it. My headshots are just embarrassing. They're like more suggestions than headshots.
Thank you. I like how the game, every time I mess up, the game's like, your input has been changed to the controller. Your input's been changed to the keyboard. Alright. Waiting on one Leon.
Oh. I tried to run down the stairs, but A takes priority for climbing stuff instead when given the option. I went the wrong way.
We're supposed to go down the fire escape. Stop.
There we go.
Everybody's patiently waiting like we're going to a field trip.
Get us out of here.
It had the like obligatory like musical sting of the swoop. Does he actually fall out that way?
Yes.
Entire sections were dedicated to people saving the old man, and then he just like someone grabs his gun and he's like, well, I'm going with it. Whoa! Didn't even notice that guy was here. Oh, that's, oh wow. Wow.
First death of the playthrough.
Wow. The bus surprisingly had filled up.
Turn around, there's all kinds of monsters ready to roll.
I think we were both focusing on the big guy, and then suddenly just got taken down.
Believe it or not, if you got a lot of pistol ammo, your wing shooter works wonderfully here.
Yeah, you definitely can't save the old man. Your bullets just don't count if you shoot that guy.
The old man is actually a barometer of how good you're getting on the fat guy.
Because the progress of his death tells you how well you're progressing with killing the fat guy.
Yeah, he's only got 25% health now.
He was so close to me.
There you go.
That time I just focused on fighting things that were inside.
Why not drive around the fat guy?
Because you gotta have your creative kill. Boom. That's your zombie kill of the day.
I've been more worried about getting the bus stuck in. We both got asses.
Whoa. Look at our accuracies. They're like identical.
I had a 0.4% better. That's the FPS skill shining through.
You had a 0.4% higher accuracy and one more kill. Those are weirdly close numbers. I did not think I had anywhere near as many kills as you did.
I didn't either, honestly. It's like if you want to get technical, there was a couple like multi kills I got with the pipe bombs that those were actually me trying to catch up with you.
Well, there we go. Chapter 1 complete. That's like the longest level of the game, right?
That is the longest level of the game.
That is a gargantuan level for like, because like each campaign's like 4 to 6 hours long.
It's like this level actually scared me when I first played it because I'm like, every level in this game can't be this fucking long.
Because there's 20 of them.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah, I had quick reload, defense level 1, and lock on level 1. They're probably like the main ones I have. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot going on. Oh yeah, because you can buy them, right? So I can buy defense level 2. That'll help. And there goes all my money. All right, there we go.
The ones I use, like personally, I use defense level 3, critical hit level 3, and lock on level 2. That's the ones I roll with.
Yeah, I should probably buy critical hit since because that affects your headshot damage, right?
All damage. It works like this. The first point is 10%. Second point is 25%. Third point is 50%. You hit him in the head, you have 50% chance to insta kill. If you hit him in the body, you have a 50% chance to do double damage. If you want, if you get technical, like you want to, crunch the numbers, it gives more DPS with critical hit than it does with like firearms. So like you have a 50% chance of doing double damage every second shot. Obviously, it doesn't work like that mathematics wise, but
That rounds out to about 70,000 hostiles. We also received word that an organization named Neo Umbrella just claimed responsibility for the attack.
Neo Umbrella.
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah. It's Raccoon City all over again.
That's all the news I've got. Now it's your turn to help me. I need to know what's in that cathedral. I've got suits breathing down my neck for
I wonder who everybody else is talking to in that room Elena's in. I mean, Hannigan.
Yeah, I don't know.
National Security Advisor.
Well, he's not a bad guy. He's just fidgeting with a crazy, evil-looking, like, cult ring.
A thumb ring too. Like who wears a thumb ring?
Bad guys in movies. Jeez.
Like even if I was like this crazy rich millionaire type dude, I don't think I could buy a thumb ring. Notice the bus has no seats in it. Like what kind of bus is that?
Yeah, they had this third-person shooter convenience bus that has no seats, so that they could have you playing a third-person shooter in it.
Another thing,
it's a strange inclusion.
This bus is designed after like, this bus is designed after like the old 1940s bus that you see everywhere, right? But they didn't have roof emergency exits.
That's a weird moment. So the police officer just got grabbed by people that are on the roof, but it cut to an exterior shot where no one seemed to be on the roof. That's weird. Oh, that guy's sliding everywhere.
I also like the fact that we're driving randomly on a highway and the world's so infected by zombies that we're getting mugged by like 25 people instantly.
Yeah, and somehow they're on the roof in the first place even.
And here's a Resident Evil 2 cutback.
Ruh-roh.
Dead. Instantly fucking dead. No way you survived this.
That's just a full free fall. Not even counting like the debris and glass everywhere. Somehow we're outside of it?
We got flung from the wreckage and we didn't break any bones or
Maybe
do any
Resident
kind of
Evil 6
lacerations.
just was going for like a Deadly Premonition callback.
Not how Diesel works either.
Well, you can't have functioning cars in a horror thing, so they all have to explode.
Only to die like this.
I mean, Diesel will explode, but it'd be more of like a pressure explosion. Like just the gas tank would like explode, which would be on the back of the bus, so it'd shoot outward. But the bus would like be engulfed in flames because Diesel burns really hot.
They said they escaped the infection just to die like this, but we didn't escape because we were still in the infection. We were just in a slightly different location within the infection.
Yeah, we ran to the worst place to be in like a zombie apocalypse, the graveyard.
The cemetery to reach the cathedral.
I think I remember these few levels being the ones I experienced, that I enjoyed the most out of the game.
Poor soul. I like the Chris campaign the best.
I think it was like the middle 3 or 4 missions of Leon.
I don't even get me started on the 3rd mission of Leon.
Is that the underground
Where they go
one?
into fucking Mordor?
Oh. That was a bad idea. Oh, that was a bad idea. Dark Souls has trained me to like ladders like that because they're full of items. So is the suggestion here that everyone's corpses are being reanimated from the grave?
And now I just pulled a key.
Like how does the T virus work, or whatever virus we're on now?
What'd you say?
How does this virus work exactly? It seems to be reanimating corpses that are already buried.
This is the C virus. So like, they don't ever adequately explain why it happens, but apparently it's spread via the wind, and any kind of like breathing it in or anything like that will actually cause you to become it'll kill you off on it'll kill you through like a sickness, and then after you die, your body will reanimate. Kind of like, remember those movies back in like the 80s where they had like, what Night of the Living Dead? But it was like Return of the Living Dead. Comedy variant. It's kind of like that.
There's the dogs. Whoa! Surprise shovel man.
Which is funny because I got way more creeped out by Return of the Living Dead than I ever did Night.
I don't think I've seen the old ones. Whoa! I made really weird decisions regarding the Resident Evil franchise where I never played a single game in the series, but then I read every book because there was like weird novelizations of the entire series. And so like as a kid I got into the Halo books and then decided to move on to reading Resident Evil for some reason. Then I watched the Resident Evil movies. Then finally at long last I decided to play Resident Evil 6 as my first Resident Evil game.
Did you not play the remaster when it came out?
Nope, still haven't played it. I'm waiting to eventually do that on the channel at this point.
You know, the October type thing?
Because I'm sure I'll play Resident Evils 1, 0, and 2 remakes at some point on the channel. And then probably get around to 4, because obviously that's the giant demand one.
Yeah.
And I still haven't played that.
That's the big rubber dildo one. Like, people love that game, but then they hate this game. But I always like to remind people that 4 is the one that kick-started this game. Without 4, you don't have 6.
I guess there are worse things than chasing a
Yeah,
is
but
just
there's
like-
a thing where like...
It could be chasing us.
It's like how there's a certain focus to 7 about what it was supposed to be, but they could make, like 8 and 9 could come out and be completely confusing and baffling it takes on what 7 did. So like 4 is the one, 4 seems to be the one that doesn't have the weird schizophrenia problems that the sequels would later have as they try to take the formula and continue to adapt it to whatever marketing goal they have. Or like 4 seems like it was somebody having a specific idea, which is why it changed so dramatically for one game.
I don't know, I didn't like 4, but I'm kind of biased because I hate how 4 controls. If you've never played it, picture playing this game, but aiming with your left analog stick. You're playing Resident Evil 4 at that point.
Well,
Because the controls
whenever I
just
encounter
like this.
discussions about Resident Evil, it always seems like basically the first 1 or 2 games of a particular play style are the ones that people seem to enjoy, and then the moment they make goddammit, the moment they start making sequels to that, it starts getting really diluted and weird and schizophrenic, and then they have to reboot the franchise with a new playstyle again.
I don't know. Like, I always like the hand-drawn backgrounds and like the tank controls and like the slowly moving through a house with limited ammunition and trying to like utilize your ammunition based off the type of monster so you can have good ammunition for like boss fights. I really like that, and I don't think it ever needed to change. Feel like Final Fantasy. Like Final Fantasy 15 was a
get
joke.
generally more negative over time, though, as by the time you're getting around to like Code Veronica and stuff like that,
Yeah, well,
and 0.
yes and no.
They definitely got a lot of lot of mileage out of that formula because they did what 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica X 0. Were Code Veronica and Code Veronica X 2 different games, or was it the same game?
Same game, just different. They've added cutscenes. What they did is they added Wesker into the game as like a superhuman. Well, they added him in earlier than he was in the game originally. Originally, he only comes in Chris's part, but they added like scenes of him when Claire is in the game.
So there were at least 5 fixed camera angle Resident Evil games?
Yes, at least 5.
Then we had 4, 5, 6 Revelations and Revelations 2 to make 5 third-person shooter Resident Evil games, most of which were co-op. So it was about time to change again.
Now they're going first-person shooter.
The new one definitely got old a lot faster than the first one did. The third person got problematic way faster than I fixed camera angle. I realized mid-sentence I was comparing third person with third person. I'm like, this sentence doesn't work.
I just felt, maybe I'm just old school and I grew up with it. I just always felt like Resident Evil and Final Fantasy gave up on winning formulas.
Oh, Final Fantasy for sure.
Like
Final Fantasy frustratingly has like no identity, and almost every Final Fantasy I've played since 10, it seems to have like a increasingly like bizarre combat system and story structure where like they just don't work. Like by the time I got to 15, I was like, what is this combat system supposed to be? Like it doesn't feel tactical, it doesn't feel responsive, it doesn't feel fun, it doesn't usually look that great, but it clearly has a priority of trying to look really cool. And at some point, like by the time I played through the whole game, I'm like, I don't know what this combat system was trying to accomplish. What happened?
I don't know. I didn't like 15. I felt like 15 was like this huge world that was just empty.
It basically was.
Like, cause like I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, so I got 15 like on the day it comes out, and like I'm trying to play through all the side quests and get the platinum trophy, and I just found myself, I'm so tired of driving this fucking car. You can't really skip it half the time. Like there's points in the game where you have to drive to new locations, and it's like an 18-minute ride. So I'd sit the controller down, I'd go get something to drink or something, and like look at Reddit while I'm playing the game. And like, this isn't fun. But like at the same time, they got a new Final Fantasy coming out called Final Fantasy 12: The Zodiac Edition, and like I'm a huge fan of Dragon Age. I mean, obviously you know this. And like Dragon Age is like a
there's so many of them behind that door. Oh, I should not have walked towards it.
So bad for them.
Did not think about that. I kind of just want to throw a bomb at it because.
But I'm a huge fan of Dragon Age, and it's like an upgraded Baldur's Gate. Like they changed the system, and Dragon Age took Final Fantasy 12's combat system. And I loved it to death in Dragon Age, but I hated it as a kid. That's how I milked my
kill count compared to yours. Throw a grenade at the door.
You did it?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? Those things are
Look at that water. Like it just looks like it's just sheeting off the house.
It's a strange sight.
Here, let me get some kills up.
Whoop.
Kind of sucks because I'm getting ammo for guns that I have, but I can't use. So like I got to be very like.
Because you've got too many of them unlocked.
I got them all.
Jeez.
Because I've got this game platinum.
So that's why you had so many first aid kits at first.
Yes.
It's weird that it works that way because it kind of runs counter to the whole scavenging for resources concept that's kind of core to the franchise. You think that you'd have to like find resources like subsistence style during the mission every time. Oh, that didn't work.
Come here. Jump at me.
Oh, is there another? Yeah, there is. Who's screaming right now?
There's a screamer somewhere.
Oh, do they scream when they die?
Yeah, the little vocal cord like flaps. I'm trying to get old boy to jump at me.
Nope, that running away didn't work. Ow.
If they jump at you, press your right trigger.
What about pressing your right trigger? Because that didn't seem
You
to do
press
anything.
the right trigger just in right time, like kind of like a parry in Dark Souls. You counter the attack. Freak.
Everything's on fire.
Here, let me
That'll
help
fix
you
my
out.
problems.
Fine,
It's
I'm glad
definitely
to-
more fun with the second person than it is alone. The AI is not a great companion.
Dude, I could never imagine playing this entire game alone.
I can. That was me in like 2012.
I never did it. Like even if I was put in that situation, I would have went to like the random join game and played with other people that didn't talk to me.
Are you... Sorry, guys. We're not rescue workers.
Nowadays, video games, there would be like a whole community set up here where we could buy bullets and shit.
But we need to find a way to open it.
You want to tell me what's down there?
It's better if I show you.
Not only are we not rescue workers, but we're gonna kill all of them.
There's a trophy if you save them all.
Like, aren't we completely responsible for what's gonna happen to them in a minute here?
Yes, we are.
My son Marco, he's in the BSAA. You watch. He'll be here with the whole army any minute now.
The Marco's a bitch. There's a first aid on the thing there. Make sure you
My
grab
son
it.
Marco, he's in the BSAA.
One thing that sucks about being a fat shit is like I've always wanted a BSAA shirt, but they never make them in my size.
Madonna of Happiness.
This isn't just part of the decor.
Where was the first aid kit you were talking about?
And there's more here than meets the eye.
Over here on this little, I'll be right here.
Oh, there it is. They're surprisingly nondescript as far as pickups go.
Didn't have the Bioshock like shiny pick me up kind of thing going on.
Oh, right, we have to do a co-op platforming section. Yeah, we'll have time to talk about during the BSAA campaign how weird they chose to handle that storyline. Because they made a bizarre chronology choice for that campaign.
I probably should save that. Yeah, I'll save that for Chris and Piers.
It looks just like the other statue. Question is, what are they for?
All right, so you need to kick down like a. You have to kick down like a ladder, I think.
Yes. Oh yeah, I completely missed the ladder. My bad.
So I picked up the Madonna of Happiness. Do you automatically have that in your inventory, or do I need to place it?
Yeah, we automatically have it. But you got to place them up here.
Yeah. Well, there's an herb.
There's another one over here.
Nothing's happening. What are we not seeing here? Two motherly saints will reveal the path.
I like
Ooh,
that your character's giving me hints right now, even though they're you.
Yeah.
She's still acting like an AI character on the voice acting. I need to actually start using up ammo. It's taking up my inventory. Oh, we have to co-op place the statue?
Yeah, yours is on the other side. All the way
Oh,
up.
that's what's going on. That's bizarre. So that if you play
done,
solo,
so it's like chasing your character. The camera is.
if you play solo, those moments are basically lost on you because you don't know what you don't even know when your co-op companion's moving to help you in a co-op thing because they're just automatically going there.
Now we're getting somewhere.
I've had enough of these games. Let's go.
Sorry, Daisy's having a hissy fit.
It's always my nightmare is the idea of like having to make videos constantly, but also be in a location where like there's like a noise problem that could happen all the time. There we go. Made room for the herb.
Just cut it out when I do my Let's Plays. I'm about to go choke me a little dog here in a second.
Oh, this is where this
I'll
whole
throw your
weird
lifeless
part
body in the
happens.
trash bag.
This is the this is the weird like asymmetrical multiplayer section.
They do give you such a bad like there's 2 flames here. Let you know how many you gotta shut off. You gotta shut them off by pressing a button on this platform. But like they do such a terrible job explaining that.
There's a switch on these statues that shuts them off.
Then the voice actors then just start shouting it out. Alright, remind me how... Oh, there's the roll. Okay. I had to remind myself how the ground game works in this game. It has a weirdly, like, complicated and long list of actions you can perform on the ground, actually.
We don't have time for this crap.
Now there's a fire gate in case you want to climb over that part.
No, that's just that's what I was saying. Those fire gates, like they represent how many statues you got to turn off. So every time you turn one off, one of the fire spots shut off.
That's a lot of them.
This is gonna stop me. Just keep moving.
My thoughts exactly.
Ow.
Wouldn't want to miss out on all the fun.
Well. Slow and steady progress.
Make sure you heal up.
I'm at 5 out of 6.
I'm saying because like I have defense 3, so like these guys can't actually do enough damage to like take a full life bar away from me.
Oop. Woo! I'm actually timing my rolls correctly. That's satisfying. Yeah, this in particular is straight up as silly as like the laser hallway scene from the first Resident Evil movie. Like the most famous scene of the series. Ow.
What happens in that part?
There's just wow, they're just starting to hit me one before I can get up. Alright. There's just a hallway where there's lasers coming out of the walls, and it'll be like a laser going across the the laser will physically scroll across the hallway, like it'd be a horizontal laser line that goes down the hallway and you have to like jump over it or something like that. And they keep getting into more and more complex positions until it's like a crazy it becomes this like basically like next level version of that cliche of having an acrobat character like dodge their way through all of the when you have an acrobat character dodge their way through a bunch of lasers in like a heist movie. Except they're like murder lasers that will cut you apart and they're moving.
Gotta watch this movie again.
It's completely ridiculous. It's about as ridiculous as the statue thing that just happened.
I like how they stick one enemy on like my side. Pointless.
Yeah, extra pointless since if people default to the player 1 rank, then that's going to be the AI character who fights the one enemy. I like that they're at least toying around with mechanics here. They kind of stop doing anything for a while for the rest of the game, and it becomes a series of gauntlets where you fight some dudes, then co-op a door, then fight some dudes and co-op a door.
That part of the game just had to get rushed out because they need to get the money back.
But these parts are definitely just about as much of a puzzle as like the parts of Zelda games were like, go shoot an arrow into the eye. Or it's like it's less a puzzle and more busy work, but it's I guess it's supposed to serve some purpose of being a status change from doing the same thing you were doing before. NATO ammo. Oh, there's the gun. I'm like, why is there an ammo for something I don't have? Never mind. Now I've got myself a sniper rifle.
I know you're not a big gun guy, so I guess I'll do the gun thing. This is actually an M14 EBR.
That's all of them. Kind of feel bad shooting antiques.
Kind of feel bad shooting antiques. How did they know? I'm trying to think of what their in-universe reason is as human beings to even know that they were supposed to do that. So we'll be like, video game, I don't know, find the thing to interact with, but like Leon and Helena seem like crazy people for deciding this course of action. Like, yeah, we're gonna pick up the sniper rifle, just gonna shoot all the bells.
Did you hear that?
You know, that's a good point you just brought up, because like,
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. It's like, the game doesn't even tell you to shoot the bells.
No, it might have an objective in the corner, but even then, like, the characters, I don't think say anything about why they're doing it. And on some level, it's like, you don't want to ring the bells because it's going to call more zombies here. Like, it's the worst idea, actually, is to make more noise.
There's your emblem. Alright, so this is going to start off a boss fight. Usually this is just a DPS race.
Yeah. Here comes the bloater.
There's a trophy where you gotta kill 10 enemies, 10 of every enemy, so you gotta kill 10 of these two, which sucks.
Does that mean replaying this mission 10 times?
There's 3 of them in the game. There's this one, there's the one on the plane, and there's 2 on the plane. Where they count as 2 separates. Because the game spawns 2 different, like, character models in, or when he changes scenes. But you can get a kill between each.
Well, you definitely can't save all of them. No, why would you jump down? That's such a terrible idea. Then it's forced upon you. Oh, that's a...
Look out for its gas!
Gotta stay away from this guy.
What is the range of the gas? It looks like the entire room just changes color, like uniformly.
It's a pretty big AoE, but like it's like around him. It's like a Nova type spell.
And so you're supposed to be able to save all of them?
All the girls.
'Cause 100% of them are dead now, right? Like, I think it's already over from where that standpoint. Like, I think they
Yeah.
just all got taken out immediately.
You can stun lock him out of like his gas thing.
Oh, there's one guy here. It's the one remainder. Oh, they were upstairs too. Did you just watch that person giraffe down the
I just got
stairs?
hit by the Nova there.
That one person was climbing the stairs, and so they fell down the stairs when the explosion happened, but their head got stuck on the first rung, so it giraffed all the way down the staircase. It's pretty amazing. Oh. Oh, wow, that got me? And it really got me. I'm, like, really down.
Yeah, think of it as like a sun ray where it just pounces out from everything of his character.
Yeah. I didn't know where he was. Look, I didn't know where he was in the level because I was on the first floor still, and he hit me from there. That was a bad time.
Wing shooter, yeah, there you go.
He's got a key card. Oh, and he's here now, apparently.
What's the name of that? You ever heard that some people are afraid of like circles?
I don't know about circles, but there's people that are afraid of like holes and things.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking
trigophobia.
for. Yeah, like I wonder if that monster was designed strictly around that, because like you have that one plant that flows around on Facebook that like they'll Photoshop it into like somebody's skin,
Yeah.
so it looks like a crippling disease.
Yeah, that stuff shows up a lot because some people react to it super heavily.
Let's go.
Definitely looks like some sort of weird, like, The Thing type monster. Those glorious PC platform loading times.
Looking out for us right now, but I think we're on our own.
I've always wondered this because like I got mine saved on like a solid state drive. Like, does it make me wait on like you?
Usually, it's usually only indie games that don't make you wait for your co-op partner, and that leads to weird problems because they do that. All right, so this is the puzzle where you're supposed to figure out what the number is for each door, and that makes different doors open that might have different rewards in them.
Did you not get fully healed just now?
I'm fully healed.
Okay.
I think this panel and the numbers on the doors are connected.
Yeah, this kind of stuff is why I kind of enjoyed the Leon campaign, because there's little things to play around with that are kind of fun.
Open them all.
It makes them less monotonous than some of the other campaigns kind of turn out to be. Will you please have your head explode after one of these headshots? There we go. Oh! Okay. I'm being killed right now, I think. Yep. Yep. I was dying during that cutscene, and I didn't. I was failing a quick time event that the game wasn't telling me I was having because the camera was looking at the door.
I hate that. Like, there's a couple things in the game that just does that.
Yeah, I was supposed to be doing a wiggle stick, and it just wasn't telling me to do it.
Last one's 210, I think.
But they leaned a little heavier into this general concept by the time you get to, I think, Revelations 2.
It worked.
They were generally good about leaning heavily into this kind of weirdness.
There we go. But what made you want to do a co-op let's play with me?
We've been talking about it for like 3 years, I think now.
Yeah. I was supposed to do one with Necroscope, but he always wanted to like do these off-the-wall games. Like he wanted like that. I think the game he wanted me to do was like on the Super Nintendo. I'm like, how do you even play a co-op game on Super Nintendo?
That'd have to be some sort of weird emulation and stuff, right?
Yeah.
To make it
like,
work online.
You just have to punch in the numbers in the doors.
I think there's emulators that allow some of that stuff because I've heard about people talking about the idea of doing online co-op for the Four Swords, the local co-op Zelda games. There's probably ways to make it work, but yeah, that's definitely, you're going through some hoops. You know someone named Necroscope?
Yes.
They must have named themselves after the vampire novels.
He's a Let's Player. He's been around forever.
Yeah, that's a book series, Necroscope, from like the 80s and 90s.
12?
I've read like 7 of them, I think.
I think there's a treasure room in that room right there.
Now there's fire! Complete overkill. Oh, hey, he's got a propane tank. Oh,
This
that was
has
the
to be
wrong gun to use for that.
120.
Apparently, if you kill a guy carrying a propane tank, instead of the propane tank dropping on the ground as a usable item, it instead just sort of disappears.
There we go.
Yeah, we've been talking about the idea of doing a co-op thing for a while now, and I recently restricted myself to 6 videos a day, which has led to a thing where I'm finally getting a backlog. So I'm not
Only
constantly
6 a
pressed
day,
for
huh?
time.
Dude. I'm so terrible at doing YouTube lately.
I am so out of space in my inventory. I'm just sitting here trying to figure out, like, how do I pick up that herb reasonably? If you drop an item, can you pick it back up?
Look at this guy.
Let's find out.
I'm down to like 4 videos a month.
I think the answer is no. I think that if you, it looks like if you drop an item, you can't pick it back up. That's too bad.
I couldn't imagine doing 6 a day. Like, what is that? What do you like? Wake up right in the morning and then like record like 4 or 5 different games and then start like a huge rendering process?
Nah, I record one game for like an hour and a half, then another game for like an hour and a half, and that's 6 videos. And then I edit them, and then they render overnight. And then in the morning I upload them and schedule them for the next 3 days, and then I do that for 2 other games, and I stagger them.
Wait.
How's your
This place. Deborah must be close.
I know this is kind of like personal for like a let's play, but like, how's your monetization been on your videos? Has it took a hit?
I didn't really notice a hit when people were talking about it, but also a lot of my income's always been from Patreon. Like, without Patreon, I wouldn't be doing this full-time because you have to be so much bigger for a full-time income on YouTube than what I am.
I'm pretty much Twitch full-time at this point. Like, my Twitch income's like $2,000 a month, whereas my YouTube income's like $200 a month. It's like, okay. Which also is a scary proposition because, like, you're living off, like, people showing up to you playing games. And you're not actually creating content.
This is all like a decently set up location. Like, just like that party we talked about earlier, or the mansion or whatever, like, this is like a big, cluttered, atmospheric location.
Who are we looking for?
They did a good job on it because, like, I think they were going for, like, yo, this is supposed to be like a thrown together laboratory. And I think they nailed that pretty good.
Something around here is interactive, but I can't find it.
That zombie's interactive.
I kept getting an A button prompt, and I can't tell what exactly what it's for. I'm killing a lot of people with nut shots. Like, fatal nut shots that make people dissolve.
Look at that. They actually have a working mirror. How many game engines you see just give up on that?
No games have a working mirror. It's such a rare moment. And here they have an excuse too. In every game ever, the house is like kind of a little messed up, but then the mirror, when you get to it, is like completely beyond repair and like and devastated. But then you get to this place and like this entire place is devastated and a mess, and the mirror is like pristine somehow. Which just raises new questions.
I keep having health issues. I have too much of it.
Oh, weird. You turn off the sinks and it drains. Are you down, or what happened just now?
He staggered me.
Okay, I got like a full screen, like, grayscale effect that I wasn't sure what was going on.
I'm getting kind of tired of you stringing me along. Are you gonna fill me in here or what?
I'm not going to say I'm never going to go down, but there's certain rooms that I know it's going to happen in if it does happen. That makes sense.
That dialogue just sounded like it could be taken out of context so well.
Oh, that's what she just said?
Leon was like, I'm sick of you stringing me along. When are you going to fill me in? I'm like, okay, that's alright.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me talking about never going down, like as a sexual reference.
No. But when you opened with that phrase, I thought you were following up on Leon. Hello, obligatory Resident Evil lab.
Like, what's the point of like keeping things in water
color
tanks?
Scheme
Like,
change?
wouldn't like water tanks like make the rotting process that much faster?
What the hell is all this?
Like, how does water preserve?
I think it fully qualifies as sci-fi trope mumbo jumbo. Like, ooh,
like,
a lab full of bodies and tanks. And that's about
like,
as much thought as goes into it when in a Resident Evil context.
Like, I always looked at it like this, like they're trying to like mimic the mother's womb. Like, you know, like you're usually the mother's womb's full of like bodily fluids and stuff like that. And nutrients and stuff, and like you slowly grow in it. That's what they're trying to mimic, but like it just comes off as water, especially with the bubbles.
That goddamn thumb ring.
That's not a dead giveaway. And like Leon's like, who is that?
That's what you wanted to show me.
No, I thought.
That's what you just tell him. Like that's not what people would do. Like I would have told him back in like when he shot the president. Yeah, like I think my sister's down there under the damn cathedral and there's like weird shit down there. You should check it out.
It's particularly weird because she keeps saying her name over and over again, but then not finishing the thought as to what we're trying to do.
201, if you want to pop it in.
Oh, we're typing it into somewhere?
And like, I like how the Elena comes off as like
was it
a
back in
criminal.
the previous room? Where was the code?
It's in that room where we just put it in.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
there it is.
But Helena's the secret agent, and so is Leon. Like, why is Leon like the senior here? Like, shouldn't they both be like good to go?
There we go. That was my first input so far, so I was trying to figure out how it worked. I was trying to scroll them. I thought you'd spin them to match the number. We actually just pressed the number in that order. Who uses a combination lock system where the total number of numbers is 3 numbers?
They make a comment about that. They said earlier, just a while ago, like a kindergartner could break out of here.
No one
Always
can
looked
call
at it
it.
as that looks like as a dig at your consumer base. Because they never really put complex puzzles in games anymore. I think the last time I seen a complex puzzle in a game was Dishonored 2.
Aside from like actual puzzle games.
Well, just like a puzzle in the game that actually made you think about stuff. They have like a lock system in Dishonored 2.
Are you talking about the Jindosh lock?
Yes.
Yeah, and even that one though was like a canned, like that was like an archetypical puzzle that's just a general one that they didn't even really make up. In fact, it's one of those puzzles that's so rote in how you make one that they literally have it randomized what the answer is because the variables are switched out, like a Mad Lib.
I don't know, that's just the last time I actually hit a puzzle I didn't figure out within like 10 seconds.
Yeah. It takes more thought, but it's definitely like the equivalent of like BioWare games where they'll be like, let's put the Towers of Hanoi in another game. Like BioWare puzzles are literally like the most commonly known types of puzzles ever, and they always use them over and over again. Like, make this tower of rings, but you can't put the big one on top of a small one. You gotta change them between the 3 pegs and like that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, games usually don't make up their own puzzles, but instead use archetypical ones that you've seen elsewhere a lot.
Games should make up more puzzles.
I actually played it I used to have a board game I played as a kid that was like about like competing spy agencies that was based on the type of puzzle that showed up in the that showed up in the what's it called in Dishonored 2. It was like the equivalent of basically like Clue.
I never actually played Clue.
I mean, not Clue, sorry, Guess Who. Like, does your person have a beard and crap like that? But this one was like you would like identify a certain spy by name and ask who they're pointing at or who they're listening to and stuff like that, and you would place the other spies accordingly, like, as if you're trying to figure out your enemy's board in a battleship game. And it was essentially the equivalent of like that, that Jindosh puzzle that was all like, and the person from Albuquerque was sitting next to the wine drinker and stuff like that, and you had to piece together the variables. I got completely turned around.
I don't even know where you're at, to be perfectly honest at this point. I'm just doing the puzzle.
Between cutscene triggers and fights, I straight up am like, I don't know where I just ended up in the environment. Hey, I'm back here now.
Need you to throw me up.
Oh, right. Oh, as I threw you down, someone showed up down here. There they are. Oh. Hello, friend. Oh, the camera's doing weird things to me right now.
Look at him, so good. I called him out of the cutscene with the counter.
So he did the jump during the cutscene and you countered him?
I countered him, but he came out of the cutscene, yeah. Probably getting messed up here with the cut.
Yeah, the screen was shaking like somebody was getting beaten down, and I wasn't really sure what to think about that moment. That didn't quite go as far as I was hoping, but it almost worked. Just saw a big crowd, and my inventory keeps getting filled with explosives and stuff that I'm not using enough. Does the combat knife be equipped actually make you better at melee?
It has an insta-kill thing on it. Like, what I like to do with the combat knife is I like to walk up and knife him in the head and then go into, like, a melee combo.
Oh, right, because you can aim the knife. Forgot about that. So this game definitely has a heavy element of something that I always have a gripe against, which is the third-person games where your character is super heavily to one side of the screen. Because your spatial awareness is super biased in one direction as a result. Like I can see super well to my right, basically. And I think you can change shoulders, but like you can't switch it to a mode where your spatial awareness is actually balanced.
Oh.
Right when I get there.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Go. Let's... This game looked incredibly good for PS3 and Xbox 360.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Like, I remember that. I'm like, these graphics were gorgeous back then.
It's a super polished 600-person project. This is the best graphics money could buy. Meanwhile, nowadays indie games look better than this already.
Because you probably wouldn't believe me.
Not a fan of indie game.
In fact, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter came out not long after this game and it already looks significantly better.
That thing didn't do very well on your channel, if I remember correctly.
It did. It's fine. The short indie stuff actually generally does pretty well because it's an answer to the fact that other playthroughs are like 100 episodes long. So when people finish a playthrough, they're like, "What do I watch now? I don't want to start 60 episodes into this thing."
You know when I pick Let's Plays to watch, I usually go by if they have like 60 or 70 parts.
Yeah, everyone's different.
Well, I never make it through on most of them. Like, I can count on like 2 hands how many playthroughs I've ever made it through completely. Because you usually get bored about 40 episodes in, or at least I do.
But you specifically choose them for being long despite the fact that you won't finish them?
Right. Because I want something that I can go to consistently every night when I go to sleep. Like right now I'm kind of like wading through a role play of Baldur's Gate. And like I'll probably never finish it because I'm starting to get bored with it because like it's getting really talky.
Helena? Thank goodness.
Okay, enough with the mystery. What the hell is going on here?
Let's just get her out of here. And then I'll tell you everything. I promise.
Elena keeps stringing him along. Surprised Leon ain't getting tired of it yet.
He did. He already complained earlier with that exact phrasing.
You take care of her. Leaving you to me.
That was supposed to be the ironic part.
Deborah, can you hear me? I'm gonna get you home.
Like, why would Deborah be down here in Mordor in a camisole, like just laying around?
The fact that this entire place exists and is filled with, like, usable zombie corpses that aren't too far gone, and it's all under a lab, and Deborah's here, like, there's actually a fair number of questions to be had about what's going on right now.
And the fact that they have weaponry, too.
The roof is caving in.
Not only were they must have been, like, warrior zombies that from, like...
Leon, help!
But they're mostly just kind of nude.
Didn't this take place in, like, Wisconsin or something? Like, Tall Oaks? Where does that take place at?
The president just died. Are we actually near DC or no?
It says Tall Oaks. Was that Tall Oaks University? I don't know where that is, though.
Oh, right. The president probably wasn't actually at the Capitol when this happened, huh?
Yeah.
That's probably why he was able to be killed. Otherwise, it's like, how the hell did you not guard the president? It still raises questions how the hell they screwed up so bad, but I guess it would be... I guess the idea is supposed to be that there was like a chemical attack, so it was completely outside of what they thought could reach them.
Might need to jump off that.
Now we got this. We got this. Ah! Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Nope.
I'm fine. Not fine.
Uh-oh.
He just killed me.
Welp. That was an abrupt death.
I've never got caught by them. I didn't know that was an instant death.
Yeah. I was completely surprised by you dying. Now we're tied.
Like, I thought you would just like walk back and shoot them off, and it's like would be good.
Yeah, I was about to start. I was switching the shotgun to start like mowing them all down, and I turn around to just see like instant death co-op partner. I'm like, huh. All right. I guess you were in a really vulnerable state carrying Helena around. I mean, Deborah. Ah, crap. My inventory's full again.
Yeah, like I said, like if they had like a $5 inventory expander, I would buy it.
No, I screwed up. All right, well, we'll come back to that later. I accidentally added my green to my capsule instead of combining it. There's a lot of steps to click through in that inventory. Oh wow! Skill
Imagine
shot.
the cardio would take to carry this person this long.
Isn't it like borderline undoable half the time to carry people this well?
This long, yeah. Like.
You're like huffing it. Also, how are all these platforms not collapsing under you? Look at the things you're walking along with the weight of 2 people.
I'm usually the weight of 2 people, so they don't really collapse. But
this would?
Maybe that would, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if you ever walk up like high incline mountains, well, like mountains or hills or something like that, it's not fun to do by yourself. Now imagine having somebody on your back.
No, this can't be happening.
Aren't you shooting it now?
Hang on, I'm gonna see how this turns out. Maybe she'll be Ada too.
Not like we just didn't mow down 200 fucking zombies on the way over here.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
This is Capcom trying to like convey emotion.
Yeah.
Ada, what the hell is going on here?
It's complicated. But this isn't the time or the place. These walkways won't hold.
Oh, that's a weird angle change. Wait, that looks like a different game.
It's all my fault.
Helena, get away from her!
Stop! Don't shoot, please!
Whoa. Oh.
That's not gonna do any lasting damage.
Don't I have to shoot like the glowy bits or something? It has like pincers. How deep is this place? Come on.
Oh yes. Like look at it. Like this is
What
under
the
a
fuck?
church.
This is a Dark Souls level right here.
This is Blighttown.
Enemies are just raining from the ceiling and disintegrating in the moment, and like they're just spewing like grenades and stuff for me to pick up. It's a really weird visual. Like, where are your supply drop zombies?
Speaking about the Dark Souls level design, I was actually going to consider doing a video on Dark Souls, but I decided not to because my fan base is mainly about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And like they tend to hate anything Dark Souls.
I would say just make videos. If you have an idea for a video, just go for it.
Anxiety kind of shuts that down. Like I have expectations of what videos should do, and if they don't meet that, I get like severely depressed.
Yeah, and instead I mostly just don't look at my stats a lot of the time. And I just commit, like, I just take it for granted that, like, yeah, I'm gonna make videos. And I just make my next videos.
Yeah, that's why I used to do it like that too. That's how I have like 3,000 of them. There used to be a point in my life where I didn't care what the video did or got, you know, as long as everything was trending positively.
So red plus red is worth less than red and green, right?
Red and green is 6. Red and red can't mix.
Oh.
Red only can mix with a green to make 6. That's all red does.
I got myself trapped in a position where I now have 2 reds. Yeah, the inventory constantly maxes out.
Yeah. It almost seems like they were trying for microtransactions they forgot to put in.
That would be the absolute worst if they went that way.
Like, you know, have you ever played Dead Space 3?
No. But I know about the complaints.
But like Dead Space 3 was like all based around microtransactions, and like they have something like that in the game, but that you can easily buy more space.
What the hell? My surroundings were totally devoid of enemies, and then the cutscene ends and there's a zombie directly in front of me clawing at my face.
Oh, the referee breaks it up for the 10 count. By the way, you don't have to shoot the orange on her. Anywhere you shoot at her does damage.
That's a weird choice. From a design
Orange
standpoint.
just does double damage.
She's not particularly getting close to the explosive barrels right now. She keeps landing in the same spot.
This should be almost done.
I'm just trying to mow through all my pistol ammo because I just have too much of it that it takes multiple slots. It's like, let's dual wield, let's do this.
Yep, she's done. And we get to go further down.
more down. There's always more down. Yeah, I'm curious how... I need to look into how VSync works and learn more about that stuff, because I'm curious what goes on here, because I had VSync turned on at the beginning of this playthrough, and it was hurting the frame rate of the recording. I turned off VSync, and now I have screen tear constantly, but it's not on the recording, it's only on my screen. So there's a difference between how the game records versus how recording stuff works versus how actual screen tear works and frame rate on a screen works, and it's interesting that the two of them don't match.
I don't know how any of that works. I mean, like, you think that, like, with the 1070, which is stronger than what the new Xbox is even capable of doing, graphics-wise, you wouldn't have screen tearing on a game like this old.
Yeah, I don't really know how screen tear works. I kind of imagine it's somehow separate from pure performance on some level, but I don't really know how it works exactly. Like if it was like working on a car, like a 1070 would make this would barely even have it running. This is like being like having the graphics card idling. Yeah, this is running at solid 60 like at all times, absolutely. Like effortlessly, and yet the screen tear happens constantly. So I don't think it's a thing that goes down to like how powerful your computer is. It's just a matter of like the game's just not. That's not something about it's not optimized correctly, where like the screen tear just will always be a thing.
Since we got a little void here, I was going to talk about that Dark Souls video. The idea I had about it was I was sitting there thinking about Dark Souls 1, and like it's designed so beautifully in the beginning of that game that I thought it deserved a video by itself, which, you know, people talk about how good the game design was, and not just the world, but the game itself. Like if you look at the Bell Gargoyles, which is usually the first like boss somebody's going to run into, that they're going to have a tremendous amount of like
well, shit.
Try to save you, but you might have to save yourself here. I can't see him.
Did you throw a bomb?
No.
I'm not sure what happened.
I think he threw his lantern at you.
Oh, they have explosives.
Yes.
I was wondering what happened there. I just exploded abruptly. I'm like, huh, that's all right. I'm just on the floor now. Oh, well.
All the way back here? Okay.
Yeah, my general approach is that, like, if you're passionate about something or you really care about something, it's good to just try to make videos of it, because the people that like you for you on your channel generally want to see you liking things and are interested in what you're interested in, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, you have the Call of Duty kiddies. They're just there for Call of Duty content, and that's what the same struggle people run into when they make their when they have a Minecraft-oriented channel, for example, is that they stray from Minecraft and everything goes terribly.
Is this your way of saying you don't care what my video's about?
No, I'm saying that if you care about Dark Souls, it's worth doing a video on Dark Souls.
Yeah. But I was going to tell you, the video, like the Bell Gargoyles is what most people like find as the first tough boss in Dark Souls, and like the designers give you Solaire and Lothric to like help you get through it if you really need to. And then like the next boss, the next tough boss is the Gaping Dragon, and you have the same options there too. You have Lothric and Solaire again, but this boss destroys them. So it takes that safety net away from you, and it makes you beat the Gaping Dragon by yourself. And then after you beat the Gaping Dragon by yourself, you've had this huge accomplishment where you didn't really have summons. Then you didn't need summons to beat like the biggest boss in the game, like size wise. And then after you had this huge accomplishment, they throw the most complex level in the game against you, which is the Blight Town. And they take all that confidence away from you. And they do it so in a way that when you get through it, you don't think there's anything worse that could actually be thrown at you in the game, and you feel like you can challenge everything.
Yeah. The Bell Gargoyles are bizarre too, because you can specifically, if you summon both guys, like, you don't even have to fight. Like, they will just beat the boss fight for you. Mm-hmm. I've had that experience before, where like, if you find both summons, that can happen. Which rewards exploration, because Lautrec is specifically a character you're less likely to find than Solaire. Solaire's just there in plain sight. Oops, that was a wiggle stick. There we go.
I don't know, I just feel like Dark Souls up until like Ornstein and Smo is probably one of the best designed games ever made.
Yeah, the second half falls off pretty hard after
Yeah.
Adolando. The levels are less interesting and the bosses are iffy.
All aboard.
It's a surprisingly uneven game. Like when people talk about Dark Souls level design, I don't remember how to crouch.
I wouldn't count on it.
How do you
Just
crouch
shoot
in
it.
this game?
You can just aim forward and press A and jump back.
Oh, right. But yeah, Dark Souls is bragged about for its crazy level design, but people often forget how much that falls away after the first half of the game.
I hated the Tomb of the Giants the first time I played it. I detest it. And then like I remember feeling almost downright I felt like it was almost unbeatable the first time I went to the Crystal Cave and I had to do the invisible walkway. And like what let me down in that was I like watching people blindly play Dark Souls. And like I've never seen somebody struggle as hard as I struggled with the invisible walkways.
And I don't think I've had too much trouble with that, but definitely it's something to figure out. They went more heavily on like gimmick levels than the thing that worked in the first half of the game for the rest of the game, basically. Oh, that took me out apparently.
I'm low on ammo because the game only wants to give me assault rifle ammo and I don't get the assault rifle to the next level.
So many poor guys wearing somehow you holding like lit lanterns apparently everywhere, which raises questions. Who's lighting all the lanterns for these zombies?
Raises also questions like where does this mining tunnel go and like how are flowers down here so far underneath the damn earth?
Yeah, which would need light.
Sunlight and stuff like that.
Huh. Oh god. Hello, friend. Ooh.
But I don't have any bullets in my handgun.
I've got bullets. Oh, Ori's down already.
I'm sorry, I had to use my assault rifle there because it's like the only thing I got bullets left in.
It definitely feels like this is supposed to be the first campaign you play because like there's a whole build up to like the weird cocoons and this boss fight and everything, but if you do Jake's campaign, the first scene is just everyone gets cocooned.
Not until I avenge your death. Please,
What are you pleasing her for? Like what like
forgive me.
oh, I see. We just shot her like 1,500 times, and like you think this fall is gonna take her out, huh?
A fall of completely unknown height.
Yeah.
We just smashed her against a wall with a mobile mining cart.
Look at me.
I mean, like that fall could be in like water just outside the sight view.
It's gonna be okay. Just keep your eyes on me. Help me. I'm gonna get you out of here, Deborah. Deborah, look at me. We're gonna get through this. No, let her go! Get away from me! Not her! Not my sister! Take me! Please! I'll do anything! Please! Please! Please don't hurt her! I didn't know what else to do. So I helped him. I helped Simmons breach the president's security.
That sounds like Simmons, all right.
Why the hell would he do all this?
Long story.
We're up against the people who really run this country. In a very dangerous game. And if you don't play your hand right...
That's like the worst cell phone ever. Like cube-shaped. Like she wears those tight leather pants. Like you think that would be a problem.
Hunnigan, you need to be careful. I think he's the one who did all.
Hear my name.
Simmons.
That's not a short level either. I think that might be my favorite level in the game. I'm not sure. It's memorable, at least. Memorable enough that I think it's, whenever I think of it in my brain, I'm like, I think of it as multiple separate levels instead of one.
Damn, you killed a lot more than I did.
Keeping busy. And we tied on deaths this time around.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So... Ada frustrates me because she's one of those annoying characters that's like, she knows everything and she'll never explain anything, which leads to the main characters never understanding what the actual story of the game is that they're in, basically. Like, it's like, why would he do this? Long story. And then she just leaves. I'm like, thanks, Ada. I'm glad Leon's gonna mostly have no idea what his own actions are for most of this playthrough.
I think they do that mainly to save money on voice actors.
It could be.
Like,
we continue to have like identical accuracies too, which was also like the same accuracy as the previous mission, weirdly enough.
Yeah, it was right around there. I did a little bit better. I had 73.6 last time, so I improved almost a full point.